from different places, we all have different names. No matter what life brings us, Jesus is the same. We're just your Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness. Hi,
I'm Beth.
I'm Tim.
I'm Jessica, and we're just your everyday
Methodist to the madness.
Well, how you guys been? It's been a fun week.
Yeah, it's been great.
I had a lot of fun this past weekend, specifically. I could just leave it at that, and then
I think that'd be funny. We just all do that. We're like, yeah. The weekend was really great. Tim?
So last night we had the Ignite Youth participate in a destination unknown. And we went to 3 destinations and had the greatest of laughs and full tummies by the end of the evening, because we went first to Cece's house, where we had some appetizers in Ana Verde. And then we went to Pastor Jim and Jody's house and had a delicious meal. It was rice with this like chicken.
It's called Shoyu chicken.
Yeah, so
Pastor Jim made that for the retreat, and he was like, "This is Shoyu chicken, the staff retreat," and I was like, "It's show me chicken," like.
But it was so good. Really good. And then the last place we went to was Lori and Rick's place in Leona Valley, which was just a few blocks from my house, and she had made this amazing vanilla cake and a chocolate cake. Like were they like 4 tiers or something?
Wow.
I don't know. It was
I was crying because it was so delicious.
Yeah. These tears went down Beth's face, let me tell you.
Tears.
And there was homemade apple cider. There was Rice Krispie treats. I mean, it was like every single house gave us such an incredible, warm welcome and a great spread for us to all enjoy all these kinds of food. Anyways, I thought the youth had fun. There were probably 20 of us all together, and I had the wonderful company of none other than Beth with her 2 sons, Jonah and Owen. And let me tell you, if you've never met 2 young gentlemen that love Shania Twain, and when I say that, I mean, we played Man, I Feel Like a Woman, and they had no idea who Shania Twain was. But it was so much fun. I love playing that song anytime I go on like a road trip or some sort of like expedition, because it starts with dun, dun, na, 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 na. Let's go, girls. And so every time they thought we were nuts. But anyways, it's fine.
There's a Jason Mraz song called Geek in the Pink. And at the beginning, it's like a conversation with another guy. And the guy asks him, "Hey, what time is it?" And he says, "It's laundry day." So I play that when I do my laundry.
That's amazing. But yeah, so that was on Sunday evening. I thought it was so much fun to see all of the youth get together and, share some wonderful food with amazing families that opened their homes to us. And it was just such a blessing to be part of that. My brother went home on Saturday. So he's now back in Aspen. He had to take 3 snowmobile trips to bring all of his stuff back up to his cabin. And he said it snowed about a foot this morning. So I think he got home just in time. It was a whopping 9 degrees when he got home.
Woohoo.
So
Am
I
I
think
ever bummed out about anything? Because I'm excited about 9 degrees, and I was like, "That's gross."
it's one of those temperatures that, and I'll reference last week's podcast about how you need to protect your nose hairs. That's a degree. That's a temperature you need to protect your nose hairs with.
Oh,
for sure.
wow. So
It's also a temperature they still make you go to school for.
Yeah. Oh, it only snowed 23 inches. Sounds like you're gonna walk to school. Yeah,
Hey, at least it wasn't 5 feet. Or
I know, right?
being in the igloo.
Yeah. You like build a tunnel to get to your class.
Yeah. Yeah, like a tunnel network. Like you have an igloo that you like hang out in, and then like you just go into the tunnel to your class.
I
Yeah.
love that so much. Let's make that happen. I have no time to do that.
You guys ever made an igloo before?
No.
I think we tried, but I don't think we were successful. We've made some pretty cool snow forts though, but those did not have a roof.
Oh,
Okay.
Hey, that's pretty fancy. Unless it starts snowing more, then it'll just be like a snow hill of some sort. Like your fort will become a hill, and hopefully you're not inside it when that happens.
Yeah.
But how are you guys doing? How's this past week been for you?
I think that this past week has been sort of a flurry of events. Good and
snow.
yeah, I didn't mean to use that word. It just kind of happened, you know.
Fine.
So my Thanksgiving was really nice. It was totally off the wall because my mom and I tried to book a place over in the valley for a reasonable like time in the evening and so on, and just like have sort of a scenic experience, like a special experience. But then they were all booked up. Like they just had nothing available except they had chicken and waffles brunch for $77 a person. And
What?
at that point, my mom and I were like, no, we're not going to spend $77 for chicken and waffles.
77? Is that per person? Or
That's insane. What did this
per
come
person.
with?
No.
A block of gold on the side?
Yeah, hopefully the exchange rate being more than the $77 that you put in for a person. Yeah, so needless to say, or maybe I do need to say it, that is, we didn't end up going to that restaurant. So we went to a restaurant in the Antelope Valley, a Mexican restaurant, and they had a Thanksgiving brunch.
Was it Medrano's on J and 20th West?
Yes, it was Medrano's.
Medrano's? Was it the one on 20th West? Was it?
I don't know. I don't think it was. I think it was the one towards the mall.
Okay, there's like 5 Medrano's. Okay, please continue. I got too excited, but please continue.
I didn't know there was like 75 Medrano's.
Anytime a restaurant closes, I swear they turn it into a Medrano's. It's weird at this point.
Yeah, it's like, oh, store closed down. Oh, there's going to be a Medrano's there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had that going on, and then the second, so the brunch was awesome. It was a brunch buffet, and the food was like really good, and I was surprised, and I was kind of sad that they didn't have more like Thanksgiving brunches and other days that weren't Thanksgiving, because I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So then I saw the movie The Wish. Or Wish. It's the Disney movie that came out.
Are you only watching movies with Wish in the title now?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like we were just talking about Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and now I see a movie called Wish. Like what's the deal here? What?
Yeah.
But that was a really good movie. And it was kind of the same subject matter as Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, but it was just really fascinating. I loved it was a musical, so I loved the songs and everything. And I just thought it was really compelling all in all. It didn't actually get that great of reviews, but I actually enjoyed it like just as much as any Disney movie. So yeah, just recommending that for anybody interested in like a good Disney experience. Plus, if they have any fascination with wishes or desires or anything like that. So then moving into the flurry part of this. So on Sunday, I actually had to go to a funeral. For a couple episodes back, I mentioned that my friend Tassie passed away because she had addiction problems, and she was 46. I found out when she passed away, and so I went to the funeral on Sunday, and I'm really glad that I went. I was able to help emotionally support Tassie's daughter, and it just was a good thing that I was there, and I got a chance to speak because the pastor there said, "Hey, if anybody else wants to come up." And so I just kind of mentioned that Tassie was a really special person, and she made my life just where I am today, based on her involvement in my life. And I just mentioned that that she lives in to the audience at the funeral. She lives in all of our hearts, and she's with the Lord now. And she's was a really special person to me. And yeah, it was really impactful. And I honestly was emotionally devastated before and after the funeral. And so then that led me to an interesting insight. So there was a point where I basically was totally aimless. I had no idea what I was doing, with my time, because I probably sad from the funeral. And so I spent some time in meditation and a bit of prayer, and that helped me. But I think the breakthrough understanding this morning was I realize now that to psych myself into feeling better and more cheerful and things like that when things are kind of awry in my life is if I find something that requires effort for me to do that I also want to do or need to do, and kind of embracing that as something that I'm trying to do for my life. And so I kind of took that attitude for my work today. I was okay, I'm going to do this difficult stuff, and I'm going to be optimistic about it, and then I'm going to see where it goes. And so what I was talking about prior, a few weeks about the education of the will, he was mentioning how work provides a lot of benefit and a sense of optimism and happiness and fulfillment in a person's life. And so I think today I really experienced that firsthand. So that's the flurry for you, both of you in the audience. I mean, it's been crazy. Maybe that's Thanksgiving for me this year. I don't know.
What a week, Tim. I mean, I'm glad that you were able to speak, at Tassie's funeral. I think that was really brave of you. And I'm sure
thank you.
Family and friends were probably really glad to hear that she was able to, help somebody's life and leave knowing that, at least you've been able to be impacted in a positive way. So
yeah,
that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to be a friend to Tassie's daughter as much as I can. We were never really close, but maybe with my involvement at the funeral and showing that I care about her and her family, maybe I have that as an opportunity. So that I was looking at it from that point too, and it's so important that we show care for our loved ones and our family and our friends. And so yeah.
How old is her daughter?
I think she's 26 or 27.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
Yeah.
So she's closer to your age than she is to mine, but
closer to Tim's age than mine as well.
Oh. I feel like in both of your saying that, I have some kind of mysterious age or something.
We will not reveal our ages on this podcast.
No.
In anticipation and never reveal at all.
I think I probably talk about my age too much because this was a milestone birthday. I don't think it was until this year when I decided that because I turned 40, I'm going to live my life better. Or did I turn 40?
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm at this point where I may not even think that you turned 40, Beth. Like maybe.
Yeah. I did.
Oh, okay.
I think aging is awesome because we've survived multiple years.
I was thinking about that too. You know, like each year that we get to live is a blessing. You know?
Yeah.
We're not promised
absolutely.
anything. We're not. So
I think as we age, it's an opportunity for more wisdom and appreciation for life. And this is something really important to me, and I'm not sure when I figured this out or actually came to this like conclusion for myself. I want to be like, what?
It was 5 p.m. last Tuesday. Just kidding. I'm sorry.
I want to be a centenarian. Like I want to live past 100 years old. I don't know if I'm going to be a super centenarian. That would be like above and beyond, but I'm trying to take care of myself in my life so that maybe I can live that long.
Well, that would be amazing, Tim.
I'm rooting for you, Tim.
I think both of you could do it too.
I don't want to, though.
If I could be like still functioning and mentally clear, I would be okay with it. I'm curious though, Tim, do you think that you'll still be 7 feet tall when you're a centenarian? Your body will change.
Hey, you know, it's kind of like Benjamin Button, except it's regarding my physical body will be changing, and I will be lacking in height.
Now, Tim, as you get older, your body goes through changes. But mostly it's you shrinking because you're 100. So that's all.
Tim's 100 years old and he's now 5'5".
And hair everywhere. There's just it's out coming out of your ears and like I mean, at least as a man, you have I don't know what I'm trying to say. Never mind. But I get all these weird chin hairs that just come out of nowhere. And I'm like, that's rude. But I think that's different for guys because they just have hair grown out of their face all the time.
Yeah.
No. So Beth, how was your Thanksgiving?
How was it?
It was good. I went to Madrano's, the one on 20th and J took the whole family there, and oh my goodness, like their Thanksgiving food was so good. I had turkey, and the turkey was just deliciously moist. It wasn't dry at all. The ham was really good, and it was probably the best green bean casserole I've ever had.
Yes, those were the best green beans I've ever had.
Yeah, it was really good. We didn't care so much for the mashed potatoes, but I still ate them because I'm not a monster. And also, I sprung for the unlimited mimosas, and I was trying to get everybody to walk there, but Craig didn't want to. Well, he didn't want to listen to the boys complaining about us walking there. It would have been like a 15-minute walk, but I digress. I still got to have my mimosas, and let me tell you what, I didn't have to ask for a single mimosa. That guy, our waiter, was on it. Every time I had an empty mimosa glass, he was right back with another one.
That's amazing.
That was the other thing that I thought was fascinating. Yeah, so that's what they were doing. Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't want any more. And like, it was almost to the point where you were thinking that they might have been insulted by your saying that you didn't want any more champagne or.
I wasn't going to turn down mimosas. I just kept drinking them until it was time to go.
And until you woke up and Craig was like, "Hey, can I take your coat off now?"
Well, I did. After we came home, I did sleep off my mimosas. I had a little nap, and then we ordered McDonald's because their holiday pies are out right now, and they are so delicious.
Oh,
I don't know
wow.
what it is about those holiday pies. They're just filled with some sort of custard,
Oh,
but I look forward to them every year.
Custard.
Yeah.
never heard of that.
Yeah, like it's not a donut, it's a pie. It's a custard
There's
pie.
sprinkles on them. It's really good. I recommend it. Last week I prayed about productivity, or I asked for prayers for productivity. And on Saturday, like, I got the whole family involved and we made some pretty good progress. We're not finished cleaning everything that needs to be cleaned. We're going to try again next week. So now we just need to keep what we cleaned clean.
That's always the challenge for me. Keeping what you already clean. Don't.
Yes, that's really hard. And my dad listens to the podcast, and he's a faithful listener, and it's my favorite thing. I told Kathy Ankeny, she's gonna be so tickled that I mentioned her again. But like, whenever I shout out to people and then they message me like, hey, you shouted out to me, like, it's my favorite thing, like, because that means people are listening to the podcast. Anyway, hi Kathy, I love you.
Hi Kathy.
Back to my dad. Hey Dad, I love you too. He listened to the podcast and we watch movies together every Sunday. And what that translates to is he watches a movie on his own time and I watch a movie on my own time. And then we discuss whether it's usually like, oh yeah, that movie was good or that movie was weird. Those are usually the only two options. And my dad suggested that the movie we watched this week was Quiz Lady because that's what you recommended, Jessica.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep. And I haven't watched all of it yet. I think I have about an hour left, but I was enjoying it. My dad was like, I don't think my dad enjoyed it that much. He was like, yep, that was definitely a different role for Sandra Oh.
It's such a different role.
I'm loving it. Yeah. And there's this movie I stumbled upon by chance, like last year sometime. It had Jason Bateman in it, and that's all I needed to hear. And it came out 10 years ago, and it's called Bad Words. And
I saw that one.
Yeah, he like enters a spelling. I had never heard of this movie. And enters a spelling bee as an adult for some reason, and the Quiz Lady movie is giving me a lot of like vibes from that movie, which you should also watch. It's pretty good. But I'm enjoying it so far. Thank you for the recommendation. And
that means I have to get on the boat too.
Yep. We got all watch it. And I think that's it for my updates.
Man, we had quite a week.
Yeah. I know. I don't know if it was Thanksgiving or God working in our lives or both, or maybe we all had a flurry in some capacity.
I had 23 inches of snow, Tim, in my life. Not in my yard, just my life.
Oh.
Yes.
I was just imagining 5 feet of snow in your yard, Beth.
I would love to see how you would function. You'd probably just put a coffee cup outside, dip it in the snow, and fill it up with water, and be like, "Yep, this is my life now."
If you have a blender, then you could do some sort of ice beverage for yourself.
Have you ever? It's actually like snowed so much before that I think at my mom's house, because the way the snow drifts, the basement door, when you open it up from the outside, there's only 3 parts are covered underground. And then, when you open the door, like you can see like the snow drift is like halfway up the door. That's so weird.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't miss it.
Instead, it's nice and dry here in the Antelope Valley.
Yep.
That's what we really enjoy. And I'm surprised when people say that they enjoy the snow, because they definitely are not in the right place for that.
No, but they can just go to Wrightwood and enjoy the snow there.
They could also go to Tehachapi, I think. They get
Maybe.
to go there.
Yep.
Speaking of the right place, there are so many right places to be in December with things going on at this church. Let me tell you, starting with this Friday, December 1st. I don't know if you guys have gotten your tickets, but we sure have. We're going to watch Dathan in the Antelope Valley College performance of the jazz. Well, let me get the proper name of this. Swing into Christmas Jazz Concert. That's on December 1st. It starts at 8 p.m. Really excited about it. Really, really excited about it.
Wow.
And then on December 3rd, the Advent Messy Church party is from 4 to 6.
Woohoo!
So,
I've been doing preparations for that today, and it's going to be a good time. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. And then on December 10th, let me tell you how much stuff is going on. There's the In-Betweeners pop at 6 p.m. and Lunch Church at second Sunday after 11 a.m. service. And then December 14th, the Senior Lunch Christmas edition is at 11:30 a.m. And then last but not least, this is what everyone's talking about. Everyone in the Antelope Valley, even people in Hollywood are sharing stories about this. The women's Christmas potluck from 4:30 to 7 o'clock at Pastor Jim and Jody White's house. Let me tell you, everyone's talking about it. And these ladies are ready for ladyship. And we are excited to have a potluck, potentially exchange gifts, exchange laughter. It's going to be great.
And rage. Just kidding. I'm going to try to.
And Beth will be leading us with a spiritual mosh pit.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yes, the spirit will be overflowing at that party with that mosh pit. Oh my gosh, the laughter, everyone being enraged. Oh wow.
Yeah. Jessica.
Yeah.
I just checked the email. I wanted to make sure if I was correct or not. I still don't know if I am, but I think the In-Betweeners party is December 9th, starting at 6 p.m.
It literally says December 10th in the bulletin.
Well, I have the email from Don Osterly, who is hosting the party, and it says Saturday, December 9th, starting at 6 p.m.
So on December 9th and December 10th.
Well, that's funny you say that, because when I talked to him a couple weeks ago about it, he implied that he didn't know how long the party was. He was like, there's no end day. He said there's no end day. And I was like, so this is a days-long party? And he was like, maybe. So
and that's why it's the 9th and the 10th.
Yeah. So bring a sleeping bag.
Yes.
And a mustache, just because those were kind of fun at the breakfast.
They were awesome. I still have mine.
We'll have to provide more clarification next Monday then on the actual date, because anyways, but I did want to mention two other In-Betweeners Christmas potluck. I'm seeing it on the other page of the bulletin. It does say December 9th, 6 p.m.
Jessica, the In-Betweeners, is that like all the church can come to that, or what is that event?
I believe In-Betweeners is people in between life and death. Is that what it is?
Some say. Others say, others say that In-Betweeners are those that have children and are potentially taking care of their loved ones. The last two things I wanted to mention, actually three things, are: one, food for thought that is still going on. So just be mindful, Wednesdays at 6 o'clock for an interactive faith experience. And then the church is accepting donations for a drinking well in Ghana, Africa. If you have any questions for us, or if you want to be a future guest on the podcast, just keep in mind, email us at methodisttothemadness@gmail.com. So we would love to hear from you. We want to know your thoughts. We want to know your secrets. And we want to know all the things that make you happy.
Tell us everything, including how your Thanksgiving went and whether you appreciate snow.
So now that we've covered all church updates and upcoming events, we're going to go ahead and jump into Beth's ministry moment. Beth?
I would love to share what we're going to talk about. We don't have a guest this week because I thought it would be nice to give people a break for Thanksgiving. So I thought what might be fun is if we each go around in the spirit of Thanksgiving and list one thing that we're thankful for. Who wants to start? I'll start. Thank you.
You got the floor, Beth.
Actually, I this is probably the most obvious thing to be thankful for, but it's this podcast. I love that we're meeting every week, and today has been a weird recording because there have been several things that have gone wrong, and Jessica sometimes won't stop laughing, but the energy when all of us get together, it's chaotic, it's joyful, and I love it so much. It's the highlight of my week.
Oh, I love that.
That is so nice, Beth. I love that. And yeah, I feel the same way. It's just been an absolute honor and blessing, like meeting with both of you every week. And yeah, I just love this podcast. It's so cool that we're doing like something so like meaningful, and like we're able to spend time with each other each week. But then we're also like helping the church by reaching out to more people. Yeah, it's just been so nice.
I guess if I don't say something regarding the podcast, I kind of look pretty
We
bad.
didn't set you up for that, Jessica.
Two things we're thankful for.
Silence. No. I was gonna say community and
The TV show, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really good, though.
Just being able to say that I have a community that supports me and encourages me, and the communities can be anything from the worship team community that I've been able to build, the podcast community that we've been able to build, and then also just the church in general, having that sense of community. And, I think the past couple Sundays, we weren't able to be at the church in person, or it was like, I think one of the Sundays we weren't able to. And I realized when I do step away from, like, I'm watching the sermon virtually or like online, I find that it almost feels like I'm at church, but being in church and being present and being able to physically talk with people that are sitting around us, and there's just this wonderful sense of, love and acceptance, but also we all are wanting to do the same thing, and that's grow closer to God, and being able to visibly see people and have communication with them and build this community of those that want to expand their faith is something very special. And so it's been just nothing but a blessing this past year to expand on the community that we have, and grow with friendships, and I'm really looking forward to this next year to see where that goes and how we can continue growing as a church, and in all of the different ways that we're able to share our love for Jesus.
I love that, Jessica.
Wow, that's so awesome, Jessica. I love that too.
Your thoughts on community just reminded me that I forgot an update in my update section 30 minutes ago. I mentioned, I had Jessica mention last week Lucy's latest diagnosis. Last week was really, really rough. There were so many days where like I just would just like burst out into tears just thinking about it. It's still very heartbreaking to me and sad, but and I mentioned 2 Thursdays ago, the Thursday before Thanksgiving at choir, that Lucy had stage 4 cancer, and I couldn't even because that was my prayer request. I couldn't even get through that without breaking down into a puddle of tears. But Jody White, Pastor Jim's wife, messaged me that night and asked me if she could make a prayer quilt for Lucy. And I was like, absolutely. I think she would love that so much. And so Jody asked me what her interests were, and she loves pigs so much. She collects pigs. If you show her a cute video of pigs, I'm not even exaggerating, she will tear up because it fills her with so much joy watching cute pigs. Like, how is she even a person? It's the most precious thing in the whole world. But anyway, and she loves The Office. So I was like, either pigs or The Office. And Jody made her the most beautiful pig quilt I've ever seen. And she texted me Saturday night saying that it was finished. So she just was on a mission, and it's beautiful. And they had the congregation pray over it in between services and probably after the service too, or after the service. And that's what community is to me, I think, because they don't even know Lucy, but they know me, and they know that if I'm hurting, other people are too, especially Lucy. Yeah. And I'm just so grateful for our church and for Jody and for everybody who's been praying. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so awesome, Beth. I'm really glad that it worked out that way. That's really amazing. And probably like Jody put her like full heart into that quilt and just ended up beautiful. That's so nice.
Yes. Also, this is my favorite part of the quilt. There's secret messages on it. They're probably not really secret, but you can't really see it from the front. You can tell from the back that something was written with the thread. And the top, it says "For Lucy." And on the bottom, and it's in cursive. And on it's probably easier to sew in cursive because it's a continuous loop. But on the bottom, it says "Made with love and prayers."
Oh,
and that's so cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, everyone at the church.
I haven't given it to her yet, but I will have given it to her by next week, and I'll let you know how she liked it. I'm sure she's going to love it.
Wow. That's so cool. I'm so glad you shared that with us, Beth. Oh my gosh.
I guess I know who to go to for a last minute Christmas gift as well.
I bet Jody has been booked solid for weeks with Christmas gifts, and she's not accepting any more orders right now. I don't know if this is true.
She's back ordered.
Yeah, she's back ordered right now. I don't know if this is true. You should actually just talk to Jody about it.
Jody's online store. There's a big sign there, back ordered.
Yeah. For those that don't recall, we did have Jody on as one of our guests, and she is an incredible quilter. And I love her passion for creating things because she's so talented. And hopefully at some point we can reference a way that people can reach out to her and place orders potentially.
You can email Methodists2themadness@gmail.com and we'll pass the message along.
Yes, indeed. Isn't Jody having, or not Jody in particular, but aren't they having the quilting ministry meet this Saturday?
Is it the first Saturday of the, I think it is.
Yeah.
Tim, missed you at the last meeting.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go now.
We were expecting you there.
All of you were encouraging me with lots of energy and so forth, but I just wasn't there. So maybe this time I need to go there.
Jody said to me last month, she was like, "What are the odds you think that Tim will be here?" And I'm like, "I'm pretty sure he's not coming, Jody." So now the pressure's on.
Now, yeah.
It's fine either way, really, Tim. Anyway.
Well, that's nice. I appreciate it. I wanted to mention that I feel really similar to both of you, like regarding like the sense of community and just how like blessed and how grateful I am about Palmdale UMC in general. Like, I feel like my faith has grown like astronomically compared to when I first came to the church. And I'm just so grateful for the pastor's sermons and all the like loving people. And like I've had a lot of opportunities to like do ministry, and that's provided a lot of like meaning in my life. And I just think it's so wonderful. And I feel like just like a complete person now that I have like a life of faith that really is at such a like developed point now in my life. And it's just going to continue to be like something that is going to provide my life so much meaning and fulfillment and happiness. And my connecting with God is just such an important thing, like in general, but just important to me. And so I don't think I would have figured out all of this if I hadn't started going to Palmdale UMC and like just being there, being a part of all the different things going on. And now we have this podcast, and I look forward to all the months and years to come. It's just so wonderful.
We're going to put all of that on a bumper sticker and we're going to sell it.
It seems like I'm always advertising here.
It's a wraparound bumper sticker. Yeah.
It's a CVS receipt.
Basically.
You could have like 6 lines of words, and it wraps around the car, and people are just going to be walking around my car and reading that entire thing that I just said.
Exactly.
On that note, you know what I'm also thankful for?
Spoons.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for spoons. Don't know about you guys.
I love spoons.
I am very thankful for spoons. In fact, and this has nothing to do with being a Christian. This has everything to do with the spoon. But every time I go to restaurants, they do not give you a spoon. And I'm always the person that asks for a spoon. And I might be the only person in the restaurant that always asks for a spoon.
What are you using these spoons for, Tim?
Well, sometimes it's just easier to like eat food with the spoon. And since I'm on the keto diet and I put olive oil on my food, maybe I want to like have extra olive oil on whatever food element I happen to be putting in my mouth. So those are the but something is comforting about a spoon. So maybe I really do vibe with the whole carrying your spoon with you.
Are you a big spoon person or a little spoon? Which spoon do you prefer?
A big spoon.
Me too. I love a big spoon. Anyway,
little spoon feels like you have to put extra effort into the food.
Yeah, it's like my cereal takes forever if I'm using a little spoon. We're not going to spend the sermon feedback talking about literal spoons. So before we switch, do you have a favorite spoon size?
Oh,
I personally like tiny silverware.
No,
really?
You're out of our club.
Yeah, I love tiny silverware because I'm able to enjoy something even longer.
You're right. That's the best for like cake and ice cream and things like that. Maybe not just sweets or whatever, but like you have the small spoon and the small forks for like Thanksgiving.
That's a good point. That's beautiful.
Yes. Now we have to switch to the small spoon. Beth, we might consider it.
We'll consider it.
It sounds like you both should know what to expect for the holidays this year.
Spoons, little ones.
Little spoons that say Methodist to the madness.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's awesome. We could get an inventory. We could make small spoons and big spoons that have Methodist to the madness, like little signs or logos on them. And then we can do an inventory, who took the small spoon and who took the big spoon. Yep. And we can see what we get in the community for spoon usage.
Even though I'm team big spoon, I'm pretty sure team big spoon is going to lose, because I feel like more people prefer the little spoons than the big spoons.
Yeah. Plus you can like be so much warmer when you're the little spoon.
Wait, I don't understand. What did that have to do with?
That's a snuggling term.
Oh.
If you're on the outside,
you're exposed to all the elements as the big spoon versus the little spoon.
Oh.
But
you're
also,
in a tiny human cave.
I get too hot. That's why I have to do the big spoon. Because otherwise I'm die.
Well, I'm super glad that Craig is taken care of.
Yep.
He's very happy. That's
awesome.
Speaking of being taken care of, this past Sunday, we were all blessed with a story of Heather Murray Elkins' The Life of a Spoon. And it's from her book, The Holy Stuff of Life. Heather was Pastor Jim's seminary advisor and is an ordained elder in the United Methodist Church from West Virginia. And Pastor Jim went through the story, and it references 1 John chapter 1, verses 1 through 4. And the overview of it was having a spoon is
the weapon of Christianity.
Yeah, it's the weapon of a Christian.
Do you know that we have a PUMC app, and you can follow along on the sermon notes when Pastor Jim is preaching to get a little bit extra from the sermons?
Yes. And there was a point where I needed that for highlights. And also the PUMC app will link to the Bible app, so you can look before and after the scripture to kind of get more context if you need it. But then the sermon notes are so helpful, and then there's other stuff on the app that you can appreciate. And I think there might be a reference to scripture journaling there, if I'm not mistaken.
Could be.
Yeah.
It's
so we reference
1 through 4.
Yeah, 1 John chapter 1.
1 through 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Message version of this. I'm going to read it really quick.
Let's read it.
All right. I was just going to ask you to read it, Jessica.
From the very first day we were there, taking it all in. We heard it with our own ears, saw it with our own eyes, verified it with our own hands. The word of life appeared right before our eyes. We saw it happen. And now we're telling you in most sober prose that what we witnessed was incredibly this. The infinite life of God himself took shape before us. We saw it, we heard it, and now we're telling you so you can experience it along with us. This experience of communion with the Father and his Son, Jesus Christ. Our motive for writing is simply this. We want you to enjoy this too. Your joy will double our joy.
That's awesome.
Like the reference of that. Yeah, I like how it humanizes it into a modern day conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that. It kind of reminds me of like the importance of community and like fostering the spirit. It kind of like the types of things that we've been discussing on the episode so far. And I also really like the reference of joy, doubling our joy. I think that's really powerful. In fact, I think it might have even been last week's episode that we were talking about rejoicing. So that's perfectly like a convenient reference there. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I like how there's so many different ways that you can reference the spoon in terms of when you're first born versus when you are no longer able to feed yourself. And there's just so much depth in that, and how much we kind of take for granted the things that we're capable of, and in a simple gesture of taking care of somebody in any capacity. And whether that's, we have a home that we can shelter somebody, or we have extra clothes that we can provide to somebody. Those little things, I think, are so special, and we should always think of the little things that we can bless others with, and remembering that we were taken care of. And now, while we can take care of ourselves, we should take care of those around us, because there might be a time where we're no longer able to take care of ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm curious, have you guys ever heard of the spoon theory that is often referred to for people with either chronic illness or pain?
Mm-mm.
What is that?
It's so the spoon theory, it kind of weirdly ties in with maybe this is why they chose spoons, but it kind of ties in with, in my opinion, like having to help each other. So basically the spoon theory, and I relate to it a little bit. So the spoon theory is that each person has roughly the same amount of energy each day, and each unit of energy is represented by a spoon. And people who are considered healthy have more spoons or energy than those with an illness that cause chronic fatigue. And so some activities cost more spoons than others. So you need to really plan your day accordingly. Like getting out of bed is 1 spoon, but maybe having to take a shower or something is 3 spoons. And so it's like you have to kind of plan where your energy is going, because you're going to run out soon. And so I'm in a lot of groups on Facebook for ADHD and different neurodivergent communities. And some of the illnesses are that use the spoons, I think, are people with ADHD and also people with depression. And so I'm in cooking groups, I'm in cleaning. It's like the neurodivergent cooking group and the neurodivergent cleaning crew. And so you can ask people what's a low spoons meal that I can make tonight? And that it's a meal that doesn't take too much energy to cook. Or so if you ever hear somebody say, I don't have enough spoons for that, it's referencing the spoon theory and how it pertains to chronic illnesses. And and that's exactly how I operate, because I can have a really good productive day and I overdo it every single time, because I know that the next day that energy is not going to be there. So I need to follow the energy when it's here, and then the next day I need to recover. I just know that about myself.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of interesting how in this spoon theory, the people who don't have as many spoons need more help. And the Christian thing to do is to help me, because I'm struggling always.
I'm really glad you mentioned that, Beth. It's almost a really interesting tie-in to what Jessica was saying about kind of helping others with your spoon, but then you also have to help yourself, and then putting it together with the spoon theory. It's sometimes we have enough spoons to reach out and help others, and that's amazing. But occasionally, or even sometimes, depending on the season of our life, we might have less spoons to provide. And so, like, taking care of ourselves and taking care of our loved ones, and vice versa, I think is so important. But do so in a way that you're able to like feel good every day. And when you bring yourself to someone else when you feel good, then you're able to provide those spoons to that person in a helpful way, instead of overextending yourself. Like, you have no spoon, like you showed up at their doorstep, I don't have a spoon for you, I'm sorry, or something like that. Like,
or I kind of view it as like, I'm never going to do this because I don't like to ask for help, but I'm saying this for me and also for everybody. It's okay to ask for help, but I would love it if, I'm never going to do this because I won't have the spoons for it, but if I just like rang Jessica's doorbell, if you have one.
I do.
Knock. If you don't, okay, I'll use the doorbell. We got that figured out good. And if I went to your door and said, Jessica, I don't have any spoons left, like, I think it would be so cool if Jessica was like, I have a spoon for you.
Wow.
And then I'm going to be so mad because it's a little spoon. Just kidding.
But the tiniest spoon ever.
That really is bringing the metaphor all the way. And maybe it's not a metaphor, actually. I think Beth actually might go to Jessica's house and get real spoons. But like, looking at it from that standpoint, like, the spoon is a symbol whereby we have an opportunity to help someone. It's like you have a story and you have characters that come to each other's houses. Oh, here, can I have a spoon? And so I can take care of this or that, and so forth. And I think it's just a really powerful message. And I think it ties into how spoons are the weapon of a Christian. We're coming there non-violently. We're coming there with love and a comforting message and caring towards someone else. And what better like symbol is there than a spoon? So I think it's really cool that there's all these ways that we can understand spoons and how they connect with our lives. And it's really interesting that we can look at them in terms of our faith as well.
What really resonated with me was when Pastor Jim said something. I didn't take any notes. They're mental notes. He said something about inviting the enemy to the table.
Yes.
And I have been having so many big feelings these last couple weeks about a lot of things. And I'm not going to discuss them on the podcast because I don't need to. Nobody needs to hear my complaints. I got a lot of problems with you people. I'll do that on December 23rd, which is Festivus, where we air our grievances. And there's the Feast of Strength.
Oh.
So it's my favorite made-up holiday. But I've been having a lot of big feelings, and I've been talking to my mom about them, and we were kind of agreeing with each other. But then she said to me, but that's not what Jesus would want. And I was like, oh, you mean Jesus doesn't want us to be petty and mean to people that we think have wronged us or other people? Yeah. So that's where I'm at, because I'm feeling all the feelings.
Maybe that's where tiny spoons come in, is where maybe you're not ready to give them a big spoon. Maybe Maybe a tiny little spoon is all you can give at this moment.
I'm giving them a baby spoon that has the rubber tip on it.
Yeah.
You know what
maybe that's
about?
Yeah.
I make plastic ones, but remember, those were my favorite. I actually used to really love eating yogurt with those spoons. There's something so comforting about it. I don't have any anymore, and now I'm sad.
Well, now we know what you're going to get for the holidays.
I'm just imagining like a tiny yogurt cup and like a tiny spoon, and you're just like, oh, I just remembered the perfect reference to this. Zootopia. Have either of you seen that movie?
I love Zootopia. Jason Bateman is in it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot that he was in that movie. Yeah, so I don't know how we just tied everything together like that. It's just the beauty of the podcast. I don't know, but anyway,
I think I was just thinking before you say that, apparently I have a problem with medium-sized spoons because I love the big ones and the teeny ones are great too. Please continue.
So there's a scene, and I don't think this would spoil anything, but the fox is with these these small animals. I forgot exactly what animals they were. Bunnies. And he what?
I don't know.
They could have been bunnies. So they were eating ice cream, and he had this little ice cream dish with this little spoon, and he put the spoon in the ice cream and put it to his tongue, and he just had the most satisfied expression on his face with this tiny spoon and this tiny bit of ice cream on his tongue. I was
that's so precious, and I don't remember that at all.
Oh, wow.
But I'm sure it happened.
I don't know how these movie recommendations are just coming up in these podcast episodes, but Zootopia is a good one.
Watch any movie with Jason Bateman in it and Sandra Oh.
And we're going to have to create a segment for Tim that's Tim's movie moment.
Yeah.
What's happening?
On that note, prayer requests this week. Anybody have anything in particular?
Lucy started her first round of chemo today. She has 18 rounds, and so this is the first of 18. Mm-hmm. And I saw on Facebook that she is every week listening to a different song to psych her up. It's an anthem that she'll listen to on her way to chemo. And today was Rise by Katy Perry. So I'm going to have to check that song out.
Oh, yeah, me too.
So I'm looking forward.
Katy Perry.
Yeah, whoever, nobody listens to CDs anymore. It's fine. Never mind. I'll make it into a CD. But then I was like, no, she'll just make her own playlist. Okay.
Would you like to hear a funny story about me and Katy Perry?
Yeah,
always.
Definitely.
So, I don't have any funny stories about me and Katy Perry.
So the night before I flew to Louisiana to help Amber get all of her things to move to California with me, and also the night before I proposed to her, I went to a meet and greet with and met Katy Perry. And
really?
And Amber was so concerned that I was going to miss my flight the next morning because I was out late hanging out with Katy Perry.
I thought the story was going to go that Amber was so concerned that you were going to leave her for Katy Perry.
Oh, no. No.
My own insecurities.
But I ended up getting a free tattoo with Katy Perry, and it was to promote her new song, Never Really Over. And so Katy Perry got Miss on one hand, and everyone else, 20 people got You on the other hand, and they're like half broken hearts, so it's Miss You. Anyways. And so that's what I did the night before I proposed to Amber, and she's always felt very indifferent about Katy Perry.
Get it?
I was thinking that maybe it would be the opposite. She would be like, I love Katy Perry songs because Jessica got together with Katy Perry before she proposed to me. That's what I was thinking when you were.
That's what I was thinking as well, Tim.
I'm pretty sure that's why Craig doesn't like Jason Mraz.
Because you got matching tattoos with him?
I did get matching tattoos with Jason Mraz.
You did?
No, I did not. But he does have a tattoo on his arm that says beginner because he likes to think that we're all beginners at something.
Yeah.
And does Craig know that he got beginner because the first two letters are also your name?
Yeah, it says beginner. Yeah, it's also the first two letters of my brother's name. His name is Ben, so that's a little confusing, but
Yeah.
But I think there's a small part of him that thinks I might leave him for Jason Mraz. I probably won't, though. Probably.
Yeah. Well, we're going to continue praying for Lucy.
Yep. Sorry, Lucy.
We derailed. But we're going to really, maybe we can put together a playlist.
That's a good idea. I was going to send her some song recommendations.
Yeah, if you've got some songs that you want Beth to add to the playlist, email us.
Yes.
Madness@gmail.com, and we'll add those songs to the playlist, and it'll become an awesome playlist. And maybe, just maybe, we'll share the link to the playlist in an upcoming episode.
Because it will not be a CD, because nobody listens to CDs anymore.
Right, because we don't want to pay for shipping. So
nope.
It will all be digital.
Because we have international listeners, and that's expensive.
Yeah.
But we still appreciate you very much so.
We love you all dearly.
Yes.
Yes.
Tim, any prayer requests?
I think a prayer for Tassie's daughter and her family, and just hope that they can have peace with everything, have peace with God, have peace with like their interactions like among their family, and that they're able to like have a grief experience, that they're able to grow and have love for each other and love for everyone. And so, yeah, just a prayer for strength for that family. And for myself, a prayer of courage to continue on the path that I have actually experienced firsthand now, which is something I was talking about 2 weeks ago, the idea of finding joy in what I need to do that requires effort. So, like, instead of avoiding the things that require effort because it's hard or something, take it upon myself to embrace those as like positive challenges. And so a prayer for that, and that would be really helpful.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. Thanks for sharing, Tim.
Yeah, thank you.
Jessica.
Whoa. Don't all ask at once how I'm doing.
We need to know.
I think it's weird that you usually ask us, and then if we don't say, Jessica, what would you like to pray for? You're just like, well, pray for, because we didn't specifically ask. So I feel like we need to specifically ask.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
So it's not awkward.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You know, I think I have been trying to navigate the recent diagnosis of ADHD, because I mentioned this last week. It, for a long time, was almost like a joke, like, I've probably got it. But it's like, now that I've been diagnosed with it, I'll be honest, it's been really hard to deal with. And I've been trying to figure out and like navigate what that means for me, because I feel like there's so much more that I have to learn. And there's so much more that I am just kind of unaware of. It's new territory for me. And so it's been a little difficult.
It's really difficult.
Yeah.
And so I'm really just trying to, because I'm solution oriented, and I want to know, and I want to find the answers, and I want to find a way to make things easier, because that's how I've been with my life is like, all right, this is a trial, or this is a problem, or this is something that is out of my control. What is the solution? What can I do? What am I in control of?
For sure.
Fix this. And this is, I think, the first time where I don't have full control yet of what to do with this. And I'm exploring that and trying to figure it out. And I started listening to podcasts, and I'm like, man, there's a lot of people like me. And I didn't even realize this is like something. I just thought for like 36 years, this is just, I've been navigating things. I've been through life. I've been through a lot of weird situations, and I feel like those are the things that have shaped me, made me who I am. But there's more to it, and it's
I go back and forth between, well, that's a relief knowing that I'm not broken. At least there's a diagnosis, but it's between that and why am I like this? Why can't I just be normal?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I go back and forth between those two things all the time.
Yeah.
And it is hard, and we can definitely pray for you as you navigate.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
New journey.
Yeah, I can relate to that a lot, even though I haven't got an official diagnosis as an adult for ADHD. I do feel like I'm sort of like in the neurodivergent camp, but I feel like I have one foot in it.
Huh? You're definitely one of us. One of us. Okay, sorry.
No, but I kind of feel like I'm 85% accepting of the fact that I probably have a whole bunch of like things like ADHD. I think I also self-diagnosed for OCD. I find myself a little different than other people. Like I maybe have a little more patience for certain ideas or like certain things, and I like focus in on specific like passions, and then like that's just like something that's going to be with me for the rest of my life. And I just sort of find myself like other people are not like that, and then I just feel kind of weird, and it's just weird in general. But I think I feel comfortable with myself, but it's just an ongoing like self-improvement thing. Like I always feel like I'm just trying to solve some kind of problem, like all the time or something.
I feel like other people are playing a different game of life than I am. I'm like, how are you doing?
For sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm struggling so much. But one thing I do, Jessica, to kind of make it sillier, I guess, so I don't get so frustrated with myself, is I have named my ADHD Gertrude. So sometimes I'm like, sorry, I'm late. Gertrude didn't want to get out of bed. And so it's like, instead of me, it's, oh, Gertrude, that silly person.
That's so interesting. That's awesome.
So it kind of separates it for me a little bit. And it's also kind of fun to have a separate entity. I don't know. Never mind.
That's good. I think to personify like certain attributes of ourselves.
I don't know about you two, but I'm really hard on myself a lot. And so
me too.
If I give it to Gertrude, I'm not as hard on myself,
Yeah. There's a song that in Lauren Daigle's new album, from her Kaleidoscope tour, and I never really paid attention to the song because I thought it was like really weird, but I was listening to it, and the lyrics of it were so cool now that I'm like thinking about things. And the song is called Valuable. I don't know if you guys have heard it.
No,
I'm not sure.
She's got a lot of albums.
She does have a lot of albums. Her new album is awesome. We got it on vinyl. But the chorus says, if you feel like you are not valuable, let me tell you there's more. If your heart is running in circles, telling your head things that are not true, what would God say to you?
I love that.
Yeah.
I know.
That's amazing.
it's so cool. And then it goes on. It's like every tear he catches with his hand, and he knows the way your heart breaks within, you're valuable.
Wow.
I feel like sometimes those lyrics pop out exactly when you need them, because there's so many songs that I've listened to a million times and didn't think anything about them until I hear a lyric and I'm like, that is so profound. That is exactly what I needed to hear right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool when that happens.
This is interesting because I actually wanted to make a song recommendation. I think it might have been last week. Riley Clemens' Godsend, and the key lyric in that song that really just resonated with me so strongly, kind of like the song Jessica recommended. It's what if maybe every broken place I've been was a godsend. And so it's sort of like the things in which we find ourselves to be obstacles and so forth. Maybe that was the direction that God was leading us so that we could learn something or grow or something like that.
I think that's what it's all about, but we need to be willing to listen. Because if we're not listening, we're not learning and we're not growing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we're not growing, we're just getting shorter.
Right.
Tim has shrunk down to 4'10" now.
Yeah, just so everyone knows, if you see me at church, I might be like not as tall, potentially.
Well, for this past week, I'm really glad that we were able to share what we're thankful for with one another, and I know we're all very thankful for each other, and I'm really excited for this holiday season for us to continue to be grateful for the things that we have, including all of the spoons we own, and how we can use them metaphorically, but also physically as we enjoy each other's company throughout the holiday season. So,
and asking for spoons if you need them.
Exactly. Yes. So with that, thank you for joining us this past week. We look forward to hanging out next week.
And we are thankful for you.
We're all from different places. We all have different names. No matter what life brings us, Jesus is the same. We're just your Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness.